So this is topic 15.4. Again, you just need your notes and your pen. Our objective today is creating coordinates to graph a linear equation. So we're going to make numbers for x and y so we can graph them. We're going to make linear equations, meaning when you graph today, all of your dots are going to be in a straight line. If they don't go in a straight line, a linear line, then you've done something wrong. So it's graphing equations, 15.4, so we're going to use your Roman numeral 4, it's graphs. First we're going to review from a couple chapters ago where we did the coordinate planes. Remember, we had quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. And remember the middle spot is called the origin, 0, 0. This is our x-axis and our y-axis. And when we go to graph things, we're always going to go on the x first and then the y. Our first coordinate is always the x and then the y, just like the alphabet. So we're going to graph 3, 1. So we start from the origin. We're going to go positive 3, positive is to the right. 1, 2, 3, and then our y is positive 1, so positive is up. So our first dot is at 3, 1. Now let's graph negative 2, negative 1. Again, we started at our origin. It says negative 2, so left is negative, and negative 1 is negative. Down, excuse me. So those are 2. That's just review, just to remind you. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be solving equations in order to come up with these numbers. Your homework today is going to give you this little equation. It's a math problem. See, we have an equal sign, so it's an equation. And your first step when they give you the math problem is you're going to make an XY table. So you go like this, and you write X and Y. And you're going to choose 3 numbers. I think in your homework they give you the numbers. I think they give you 2, 4, and 6. But for this purpose, I'm just going to pick numbers. I'm going to pick 0, 1, and 2. So again, I'm picking 3 numbers. And I'm saying that x is going to equal 0, and then x is going to equal 1, and then x is going to equal 2. So I'm going to solve this problem again 3 times. So the first time I'm going to replace my x with this 0. And what is this 2 doing to this x? It's multiplying. So I replace my x with 0 because that's the number I chose. 2 times 0 is 0, so y equals 0. So now I'm going to solve the problem again. But this time I'm going to replace my x with 1. 2 times 1 is 2, so y equals 2. And the third time I'm going to solve for 2. I'll put my x equals to 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So now I have all these numbers. How do I turn them into coordinates like this? Watch, this is the movie magic. I'm going to erase this line. I'm going to add some parentheses. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. And some commas. And look, we have coordinates. It's so exciting. Again, this is my x coordinate and my y. So my first one is going to plot 0, 0. That's our origin. Now it says 1, 2. So on the x-axis, I'm going to go over 1. And on the y-axis, I'm going to go up 2. And now we have 2, 4. So on my x-axis, I'm going to go over 2. And my y-axis, I'm going to go up 4. And notice all my dots are in a straight line, so I'm going to connect my dots and draw an arrow to make a line. When you draw your dots today, they should always go linear, meaning they'll connect straight. If you draw your dots and they're like this, something wonky, you've done your math wrong, okay? So now let's look at this one right here. Y equals x divided by 3. Again, I start by making an xy table. Again, I'm going to choose any numbers I want, but I'm going to be smart. I want to choose numbers that can be divided evenly by 3. So I don't want to choose 1 or 2 because then I have to graph fractions and that's no fun. So I'm going to choose 3, and I'm going to choose negative 3. Look at that, it's wild. So again, I replace my x with the first number I chose. 0 divided by 3 is 0, so y equals 0. So now I'm going to replace it with a 3, because that's the second number I chose. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so y equals 1. And now I'm going to replace it with a negative 3, because that's the third number I chose. Negative 3 divided by 3 is a negative 1, so y equals a negative 1. And now I need to graph it on my coordinate plane. So I have 0, 0, Now I have 3, 1, so I'm going to go on my x 3 places, 1, 2, 3, and my y up 1 place. And now I have negative 3, negative 1, so on my x I have to go to my negative 3 spot, 1, 2, 3, and down 1. Again, shoop, makes a line. So we're all good. Our last one is right here, y equals x minus 7. Again, I'm going to choose 3 numbers. I'm going to choose some larger numbers this time because I have to subtract 7. So I'm going to use 5, 6, and 7. So I replace my x with 5. 5 minus 7. Well, I have $5 and I spend 7. I have a negative 2. Remember, we can have integers, negative 2. So now I'm going to place it with a 6. I have a 6, but I take away 7, so I have negative 1. And I have 7 right here, and 7 minus 7 is 0. So again, we're going to graph. We're going to go on our x-axis 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go down 2, 1, 2. And we're going to go 6 and down 1. And now I have to go over 7. And 7, 0 would be right here. There you go. That's it.